My name is Nathan Atkinson and I'm the Human Resource Manager for the National Australia Bank and Training Facilitator for the program The Art of Sales. Today's session is titled Curious Conversations and Closing a Sale. We decided to combine these integral skills into one session because they complement each other so well. During a customer encounter, whether it be working in the bank, or a retail shop, or even contracting as an electrician, regardless of where you work and what you do, you want to gain as much revenue as possible. If a customer chooses to spend more than they initially opted to, this will result in increased revenue and profits, which is ultimately an organisation's end goal. It's to make more money. Discovering a customer's hidden need through curious conversations and unveiling that need or working towards closing the sale is a skill that modern organisations spend millions of dollars on. The objective of this session is to learn how to have those curious conversations and to discover a customer's hidden need and how to effectively ask for and close that sale using appropriate techniques. So by the end of this video, you will be able to confidently have curious conversations to uncover customer needs and utilise appropriate closing techniques to secure a sale. I'm going to begin by sharing a video clip of a sales encounter that demonstrates a curious conversation. To discuss the second learning topic, various closing techniques will follow on from the video to demonstrate how the conversation could go with differing results. After each clip, I'm going to share some strategies. We're going to discuss some more information on the topic and also generate some ideas on incorporating that into your industry. When you see this, I want you to reflect on conversations you might have in your industry, utilising the techniques that have been discussed. If you're new to the workforce, relate it to your life. Think about how you can use this curious conversation tool to network more. How can you use these closing techniques in your general life, such as getting the kids to do their homework with minimal fuss? Let's learn, but more importantly, let's have some fun. Before I begin, I want to discuss the terminology curious conversations. What exactly are we talking about? Brian Grazer, a well-known conversational theorist, created the terminology. He advises that people need to broaden their minds. They need to want to learn more about others. People need to stop being so narrow-minded and actually want to listen and learn. And when we say listen, we mean really listen to others. By adopting Grazer's theory and turning it into a sales template, organisations and individuals can maximise revenue and customer satisfaction. So how does Grazer's curious conversations actually relate to sales? A curious conversation, it's a genuine passion, a desire to converse and uncover customer needs. I want you to watch the following video clip as I have a curious conversation with a customer. Hello, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I just need some help.
Yeah, of course, how can I help?
I just need to change my address.
Yeah, no worries. Have you got your card on you or
Yeah, sure.
information? There we go. And what's your address?
58 Baldwin Street, Bundaberg.
There we go. All done. Oh wow, all the way up from Melbourne. That's a big move.
Yeah, it is, but it's a really nice place around here.
Yeah, no, great. Bundaberg's a lovely place. What prompted the move?
I got a new job.
Oh wow, congratulations.
Thanks, it's a big challenge, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Did you find that houses are a lot cheaper up here than Melbourne?
Yeah, definitely. Heaps cheaper than Melbourne.
Hey, I noticed that you've got most of your banking in there, but you don't seem to have any mortgage with us.
Yeah, I've always been with my other bank for home loans.
So what happened throughout that encounter? A customer came in to simply change their address, and we discovered they recently bought a house, they work, and they don't have their mortgage with NAB. Notice how we discovered what we wanted to discover without actually pressuring the customer or intimidating them by asking outright if they have a home loan. So how do you exactly begin a curious conversation? First of all, we need to greet the customer with a smile and build rapport. Psychologists explain that it only takes 1/10 of a second to form a positive or negative impression of you. Then, we need to resolve the customer's inquiry. They lined up for a specific reason, so you need to give them an efficient and effective resolution. Then, we need to identify triggers. You need an in to build a conversation. Within the sales encounter, the customer just moved from Melbourne. Why did they move? Did they buy in Bundaberg? Then you need to tailor your conversation and lead them towards your desired close. Curious conversations can be tailored towards any industry. You work in an electric store and a customer is inquiring about some headphones. What do they want those headphones for? Music? Gaming? You work in a vacuum store. They're buying a bagless vacuum. Are they using this to pick up pet hair? Do they have asthma? Is this really the right machine for them? Is quality important to the customer? You just joined a mother's group. How would you begin a conversation to find out more from the people you don't know? Reflect on this, and I want you to relate it to your life. If you need more time, just press the pause button. How did you go? Did you manage to relate it to your industry or general life? Remember, there is no wrong way to have a conversation, but learning to have a conversation where you listen more than talk, it's a skill. A skill that requires practice, but a skill that will benefit you in nearly any industry. Now that you've built fantastic rapport while uncovering the customer's needs and have led them towards your desired outcome, where do we go from here? It's simple. You need to ask for the sale. You did the hard work. Now the most important part of the conversation, ask. Finalise that sale. We've selected 3 proven closing techniques to showcase during this training session: the trial close, the assumptive close, and the direct close. The trial close was a close for salespeople that might not be confident asking directly for the sale, or whether you want to test the waters before you ask the customer to commit. The trial close puts the idea of closure into the customer's mind. It's a question that lets you know where your customer stands. Let's have a look at a trial close with a continuation of our previous video. Is there a reason why you've never looked at NAB as your home loan provider?
I've just never really thought of NAB for the home loan thing.
Oh, okay. Well, NAB's got some great home loan products, and with your loyalty throughout the years, we might be able to save you some money. What do you think about that? That was an example of a trial close. Other examples of a trial close are, does that make sense? How's that sound? Do you feel like this solution would work? By utilising a trial close, we'll get 3 results. Firstly, we'll get strong interest. Then we can move to a direct close. The customer might ask some questions. We'll answer those questions. The customer might raise some concerns or objections. Then we'll just objection handle them. And we recommend looking at our objection handling and training sessions as well further. So after learning about trial closes, how's that sound? How would you relate this to your industry or life? I want you to think about a previous conversation where you may have used that close, even if you didn't realise you were using it. How did you go? When I first started my sales career, does that make sense? Was an excellent trial close after the curious conversation. Another close, the assumptive close, assumes that the customer is interested in taking up the idea of becoming a customer. Let's have a look. What's your current interest rate?
4.4%, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, well, if I can also grab how much you owe, I'll grab the home loan lender who can review that, and we can see how much we can save you. I'll be 30 seconds. Is that all right? As you can see from that video, we really didn't give the customer a choice, but the conversation flowed. The customer was happy to give the requested information to the consultant as they were helping them. When using an assumptive close, it's important to do the following. Firstly, you need to mention the benefits first. You need to keep your attitude casual, and you need to remain in the general rhythm of conversation. Keep an eye out when you go shopping, as this style of close is very common. If you go to a clothes store, the salesperson might say to you, "That dress looks good. Would you like to try it in a size 14 or a 16? You go to a furniture store. Would you prefer that couch in blue or red? It's about assuming the client is interested in your product. I'm assuming you're learning a lot about sales from watching this video. Let's have a quick reflection on how it can relate to your industry or life. When the light bulb appears, I want you to also think about a time you went to a shop and this style of close was used on you. How did you go? Did you recall a time you noticed someone used an assumptive close with you? Was it effective, or did it seem a little pushy? The final close that we'll discuss might seem a little pushy. That's why it's called a direct close. The direct close is a confident close that will get a simple yes or no answer. A lot of people struggle with this close, as many people fear rejection, and hearing that word no, it can be devastating. Only use this close if you're confident that the customer will say yes. You can gauge this confidence based on the success of your curious conversations. You don't have your home loan with NAB. Do you want me to talk to the lender and see if we can save you some money?
Yeah, that'd be great.
This is a very simple example of a direct close. Other examples include, should we do it now? Are you interested? Are you happy to finalise that sale? This kind of close is also very useful if you've tried other closes, such as the trial close, and they asked you more questions. Or you've tried the assumptive close, and again, they seem indecisive. You need a direct answer. The customers that this is great for the customers that struggle to commit. The direct close can be very useful. Can that one be used in your industry? So there you have it, 3 styles of closes. By now, you should be starting to realise that sales really is a form of art. Without proper technique, you won't have much luck in most industries. A lot of people simply serve and don't ask for the sale, and thus struggle to reach their company's targets. Whilst others might use a direct close, thus intimidating their customers, which will usually result in a harder no, which may disillusion you and may affect the next time you have the opportunity to gain a sale as a result of your curious conversations. I want you to try these in your industry, or even keep an eye out for them in your general life. Have a curious conversation, find a hidden need, and use a tailored close that will suit the situation. I'm Nathan Atkinson, and I know that curious conversations coupled with the correct closing technique, it will improve your individual sales and organisational success. And remember to check out my other videos on objection handling and 5-second rapport. We'll see you then.